Hey, how we doing? Now, great smelling people. Welcome back. So, you've seen the thumbnail. I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the new YSL MYSLF L'Absolu. I've had the decant for pretty much a week, so I've spent some time with it, getting to know it a little bit, comparing it with the other two flankers, and I've arrived at a pretty firm conclusion, I would say. And if you're interested in what that conclusion is, you know what to do. Stick around.
Smelling great won't get you a date, but you have no class if you smell it like ass. Wanna smell good and wanna smell nice. Stay tuned for the bald guy's advice.
Yeah, welcome back to the channel, guys. Thanks for clicking on view. And if an unbiased opinion from an average lad is what you're after, then you've come to the right place.
Sure, the more the merrier.
So the MYSLF line from YSL pretty much exploded with the EDP here. And you know what? When I first smelled it, I wasn't even that impressed. Like, this was just in a shop, you know, just a quick spray on the hand. And while I thought it smelled pleasant enough, I was like, yeah, it's okay. It was as if it didn't really have much of a personality, more functional than anything really. Which I guess, you know, it's sort of par for the course with a lot of designer releases, but that being said, it did smell nice. However, I got like a 2 or 3 ml decant of someone, like just thrown in with the package that I got. And I give it a couple of wears, and actually wearing it, you know, in real life situations, I was like, I actually really like this. And it was something different because that orange blossom blended with that bergamot, the way that it was like sweet and fresh. And I know we get sweet and fresh. We get sweet and fresh all the time these days. But it was different. And yeah, I kind of like grown fond of it. So I picked myself up a bottle. Now, after that, quite a bit after that actually, the parfum dropped. Now, I'm going to have to go against the grain with the opinion on this. And I'm probably wrong. But although I like it a lot, the common sort of like feedback was this like more masculine version of that. I don't really get that. Like, to me, and I'm not saying it's more feminine, but to me, like, I think that there's more of a floral sort of character with it, especially as you wait for it to dry down. It's as if it does smell darker. Like, it does smell a bit more mature, but I don't think it's necessarily more masculine. That being said, I think I prefer it. So I like it quite a bit. Now, we're not here to speak about either of these, but I just thought I'd give a little quick, you know, brief gloss over them. We're here to speak about this boy. MYSLF L'Absolu.
Wait, are you translating that from French?
Merde.
Which I got from Jovan over at Novel Perfumes. So please, guys, hop on over to his channel, Novel Perfumes. Check it out. He gets all of the latest releases, sometimes way ahead of time, you know. And he's my go-to. He's my go-to for decants because, you know, like, I'm very reluctant to pull the trigger on designer releases, especially like in recent years. So cheers, Jovan. So how does it compare to these two? Now, it's a bit of a strange one to sort of summarize actually when you're comparing it to the previous two flankers, because in one respect it's like a go-between, because it's not as floral in my opinion as the parfum, but it's sweeter than the EDP, but also it's like it's fresh. It's the freshest of them all at the same time, without being too loud, and without being the one that would appeal to the youngest demographic as well. Because it's smooth. It is really quite a smooth blend. Now, you're going to get the ginger.
No deal. Get ginger.
There's ginger added to this, and you get it like sort of almost immediately with that bergamot. So this is where this freshness comes from, and it is fresh. There's cardamom in here too, and it sort of provides. It doesn't really lean into the freshness so much, but rather gives it sort of like an aromatic sort of tendency. It makes the aromatic nuance that it has. It's there to amplify that, you know. So it's got like that fresh, spicy, quite zingy bergamot opening, and the cardamom's more present for longer than the ginger actually. Yeah, it carries on into the mid. Really, really nice, guys. It really, really is. I've got it on a test strip here. I've sprayed the La Parfum and the EDP too. It's the freshest, but also the sweetest. Performance is good. No complaints whatsoever with performance. Sort of like, it's one of those scents that I think because it's not a big projector, you're reminded of the fact that you're wearing it.
And I'm still here. I never left.
Rather than being ever present, you know, on the wear. And I like that. I do like that. It's really nice. Which is my favourite? It might still be the La Parfum actually. But I haven't spent as much time with this. The EDP is probably my least favourite, even though I do like it. Like I do like it quite a fair bit actually, but this gives the La Parfum a run for its money, I think. I also think that because of the enhanced freshness of this scent, that it probably is a bit more versatile actually as well. I'm not going to pick up a bottle, at least not just yet, because it's just been released and it's rather expensive, but certainly not going to rule it out to see one at the right price or a partial somewhere, because I do like it. You can see how much I've actually used of that decant, and so I have spent some time getting to know it, and I would rate it. It's sort of like first impressions. It's actually, I think that even with a first impressions rating, you do need to spend some time with it. I would rate it a 7.75 right now, which is actually a really good score for me and a designer release. Yeah, 7.75. I've got no complaints with it other than its current retail price, and it is not a redundant release. It's got that myself DNA running through it. Of course, it has that orange blossom, but I think here the orange blossom, it comes over different, and I think it's because of the amplified sweetness. It's more like you would imagine like a crystallized blossom, you know what I mean? Like crystallized sugar, like a sugared white flower, rather than the powdery, clean, soapy sort of effect that you get from the orange blossom in the other two releases. I'm not saying it's not clean, it does have that clean freshness, but it's balanced out with the sweetness being amplified, and I think that's what makes it the most different of the other two. Now the EDP is sweet, but it's not as sweet as this, and it isn't sickeningly sweet either, which is great. You know, I am actually quite impressed with it. More than quite impressed. I know what you were thinking. I know what you were thinking when you seen that, you know, this video popping up and it was me reviewing it. You were thinking,
Oh, here's the frag lad. Here's Al. Another designer review. He's just gonna bomb it because it's not nuanced enough and it's generic, and he's sick of designer releases and he hates all designer releases now because his nose has changed and he's a snob.
No, that's not the case at all. I don't immediately bomb designer releases at all, but I do enter a review with an air of cynicism. I'm not expecting to be impressed. So when I am, that should tell you something. YSL MYSLF, 7.75 out of 10. Like I say, nothing to complain about other than the price. So get your nose on it, guys. Sample it. As I always say, even if you've got to go into a shop and get a couple of sprays on you, leave the shop, you know, go and do a bit of shopping, grab a coffee, spend some time with it. If that's the only way you can sample it, then do that, you know? Or get a carded sample if you can. But definitely sample it. Because you might not be like me. You might think that it is too redundant if you don't pick up how the orange blossom comes over differently with it being sweeter and that, because everyone's nose is different. You might smell this and think, what the hell is he talking about? It's too similar. There's no point in ordering it. Don't take my word for it. You've got to trust your own nose, not mine. This is on my face. This is my nose. Definitely in the top 5 design releases of the year. But as years have gone by, that isn't really that much of a difficult task to achieve. And it doesn't usually say that it's an amazing release. And I'm not saying it's amazing, but it is still very good. So that'll about do it for today, guys. Thanks very much for tuning in once again. Make sure you tune in for the next one. If you've enjoyed this video, please smash that like button down there. Give me a thumbs up. Really does help the video reach a wider audience. YouTube algorithm appreciates that people are liking it and pushes it out to a wider audience. And subscribe if you want to see more of me waffling on about smelly stuff. But if you are subscribed already, make sure you hit the bell notification icon down there so that you can be notified next time I upload some scented nonsense. And until next time, guys, stay fresh, keep smelling good. I'll see you again. Take care.